Hey guys, what's going on? Draax15 here with a Redpower 2 video. Of course, it's in Minecraft, but it's Redpower 2. The other day, I did a video response for MrOneWolf and Sl1pg8r on their bread machine that looks very much like what I have sitting in front of me. First off, I just wanted to show them a slight change to make the system a little bit faster. Really, everything's set up the same on this one except for this right here. I just have some solar panels, electric engine, pulls this stuff out right here much faster. So if I go ahead and stand on the pressure plate, we will start to see the automation of bread. Now, the only issue with, say, this, the guy's fast. He pulls out quite a bit. But I'm thinking that these aren't quite enough to keep him running. So maybe if you did, well, here, let's try this. Maybe if we did a, these are no longer solar panels? Panel? What's a panel? Panel. Okay, so that's the only solar panel in my book. So let's try a circuit. Okay, so you could probably put a ooh, what happened? Oh, we're out of bone meal. So we have quite a bit of bread in there, and it does work pretty good. There's ways to make this system a little faster. Why is that off? Items in inventory. So there's no longer items. Hold on. Wait. Why? I don't know. Something's funny. But the main purpose of the video is I got to playing around with Redpower and trying to just automate some of the farms that we use in Minecraft every single day. So there's a couple. You can probably see the cactus over there. There's something over there. Something there, something there, something there, and something there. So why don't we go around and I'll show you guys what I came up with. Number one here is a cow spawner slash killer. That is a tier 5 cow spawner. And in there, controlled with a redstone signal. All those are transposers with some igniters. The only bad thing about this, for some reason the cows glitch through the floor. But the way it's supposed to work is I flip the switch, it allows the cows to spawn, it burns them up, they will eventually die. See, it only does the outside, so not too many are on fire at one time. And then we should see a flow of meat in here pretty good. Yep, cooked meat right there. It's a horrible sound, but you know, whatever. You turn it off, all the cows should get murdered. If I were to remake this, I would probably make it 1 or 2 bigger, only because you do have cows spawning on the outside, and I'm not happy about that. But like I said, we have some transposers, and these are igniters. And I'll go down and I'll show you the setup for the transposers. It's literally just, there's a cow down here, just pipes attached to the bottom, and over here is the chest to the input or output. So I really liked this, except for the fact that they fall through. I don't know if that's something that's getting fixed or not. I really hope it is, because this could be a really cool setup for any kind of mob. You know, any kind of system that you have where you need to kill something, and this just bonuses because you already get the cooked meat. That's what I'm thinking. So yeah, there's that. Call that the spawner killer, the spawner melter. I don't know, we'll call it something cool. I don't know what cool thing we're gonna call it. But moving on, let's walk over here to the cactus. Now, this is a basic cactus setup like we would do in vanilla Minecraft. I don't know though. I'm not seeing any yield from it. So I don't know if these blocks need to be up higher and then we would see yield, or if it's just, I don't know. Yeah, let me try that. While we're sitting around here talking, and we'll come back to this in a little bit. We're going to check this out. We'll see if they need to be up a little bit higher to see any yield. But yeah, it's very basic. We got some block breakers. We got some timers. I have it on a pretty long timer delay, 10 seconds. It could be even longer for the amount of time that it would take a cactus to grow. But yeah, just pneumatic tubes to the chest. Remember, with pneumatic tubes, they look for the closest valid inventory. So this is the only inventory in the system. That's why it goes to that. So yeah, there's that. Over here we have a sugarcane farm. Works just like the piston operated sugarcane farm, but this one's a little more automated. I really like this one. This one could be very useful. So you'll see we got one here that grew and one there. Timer went off, they got taken out, and they will go into the chest. Voila. Now the timer on this one, I mean, it doesn't really matter because they're going to grow when they grow. I have it on 10 seconds. You could do it on 2 seconds, 30 seconds, whatever. You know, if the only problem is if you do it on 30 seconds, you might get them too high and it'll only suck in the block on here. So I added these transposers into the floor. They're pretty much useless because if that happens, they fall down. They don't fall in here, they just fall on here. So not really useful to have these. It was just a waste. But you know, we're in creative, we're doing that testing sort of thing, so yeah, it makes sense to try it, right? So again, we got some block breakers on a regular timer with a switch, and that's red alloy wire running to the top. This right here is all Redpower except for the chest and the lever. So that's, I'm trying to stick to that theme of doing nothing but Redpower. The next one you will see is something else I'm really proud of. It's a watermelon / pumpkin farm. It's really cool. It's these block breaker systems and timers. So the timers are set on 5-second intervals, I think. I have them all on that. Yeah. And anytime a watermelon grows on that block, it'll break it and suck it down into there. I don't have any pumpkins planted, but it would totally work with pumpkins. If I were suggesting making this again, things I would have done differently, I would have done this in an even number. That way, this timer does these two, and the next timer would do the next two. And I could skip this timer in here, if that makes sense. But again, block breakers and just a setup. I have water in the middle, and since we technically don't need the space in the column, I'd put in micro blocks, but you can put in full blocks just to hold the water, whatever. And then they go up and come down into the pneumatic tubes. Again, closest inventory. The chest is the only inventory. So, we showed that, and that. This one here, I was trying 2 different setups. I was trying some cocoa beans and some vines. Get those vines. And the vines, when they're on the system, it doesn't silk touch or anything. They just break. Which I was kind of upset about that. I thought it would have done a little better. Yeah, see, it just took them away. And the cocoa beans, the reason the deployers are here is because I would think that the cocoa beans would put them on that wall, but they don't. And I don't think I have a timer set up long enough to be good for those, but it's really kind of a bummer. Let's get some jungle wood. So tried a couple different ways. You know, the current setup that is there now is like that with some of these in, and it just doesn't want to work. It doesn't deploy them. I also tried this setup, so it doesn't do it right. I assumed that the way that this worked was the deployer does whatever right-click function of the item in its inventory, but that doesn't seem to be the case. There's still little bugs here and there. I don't know if anyone's noticed that, but that's something I found out, so it saves you guys from finding it out later. So there's that. And in making this, I came up with the idea for a basic tree farm. We have some block breakers, a deployer, and a filter. The filters out the saplings. So we got the deployer timer is on a 0.75 tick delay, but it can be on a 1 tick delay. And the block breaker timer is on a 6-second delay. I was messing with times. As long as this one is considerably longer than this one, you'll be okay. What are we missing out of here? Well, we're missing both saplings. So we'll go ahead and put our saplings in, and then you'll see that this timer will go around and it'll break it. But you know, that's not really that useful, because that's not enough time for a tree to grow. But if you do supply this with bone meal, let's see, let's wait for it to cycle. See, I put this up here. They grow a lot better without this up here, but they grow huge, and they will leave a ton of debris up here if you don't. So you do blow through the bone meal if you do not. See, some of these are going that way, some of these are going that way. But yeah, you see it just grew one, it broke it. There's the 4 pieces of wood, and that's it. Maybe, what do I need to do to make this better? Because this will be one off of the inventory. Yeah, so they should never ever go down here. If I wanted to make sure the wood never went that way and the saplings never went this way, I could paint these tubes and put the filter in first. But this is a much more basic setup. There's no reason for us to have to do much more. So you'll see we've almost blown through that stack. Another one. I mean, you get 4 to 5 wood every time it goes off. I know there's much more efficient ways of doing this, especially with like Steve carts and oh my gosh, there's so much. There's the arbitraries or whatever you want to call them from forestry, but this was a cool Redpower version. This one is something that I might actually use in my world. Even if I set the block breaker on a just incredibly long delay, like 30 seconds to a minute, maybe every minute it would wrap around, I wouldn't need the bone meal as much, but I like the deployer and the block breaker setup. Now see, if we take all these off and I get more bone meal, we shall see how big some of these trees get. Yep, see, look there. With this setup, that's the downfall. You will only break the 6 blocks. All this up here is now here for good. This is where the Steve Cart's tree farms and stuff like that come into play, being much better. But yeah, guys, that's it. I plan on coming up with more, but these are my basic farms. I'm gonna try to build on what I have here, make some cooler stuff, maybe find better ways to do this, but this was just something I threw together. I thought was cool. I thought you guys might enjoy it. I enjoyed it because Redpower, I love it. It's a great mod, and I have a blast with it. It makes things a heck of a lot simpler when it comes to redstone and such. So guys, I appreciate you watching, and just take it easy.